afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon on this wonderful sunny day and on a wonderful Father's Day. Welcome to this particular platform, Acknowledges Project 365. We're so glad that you took the opportunity. Yes, it is an opportunity to tune in to us so that we can share some hope, encouragement, and inspiration to you, our audience. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization, Acknowledges Trophy of Life, where again, we have the opportunity, the privilege, and the assignment to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Let me bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takara Swan, and happy Father's Day. It's Father's Day, everybody, and we are so happy to celebrate this special day with you and for all the fathers out there. Now, before we get started, I have two things I need to say. The first is please remember to go to our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, so that you can help us bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world. And number two, I just want to give a special shout out to my dads, Jeffrey Swan, Bruce Glover. Happy Father's Day. You mean the world to me, guys, and I wouldn't be who I am today without both of you. So
that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank God for the fathers that are present. We thank God for them. Well, today I have the great privilege and the honor to introduce to some, sound like a preacher, introduce to some and present to others. But today is my biological family, and I'm grateful to God for them. I have the McIntosh Men, but of course you see a young lady in the screen on the screen, and she had to bring some beauty to the stage. So, Zari, thank you for making them look good. I tell you what, the McIntosh Men, the older gentleman, the senior gentleman, is my mother's brother, and that is Timothy McIntosh. That's the only time I get to not put a handle on his name, Uncle Tim, and his son, Timothy Jr., and Timothy Jr.'s son. So we have three generations here for you on today, and we want to get wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We just want to hear from them. However they want to bring it, we want to hear from them. Again, we say happy Father's Day, and thank you, Uncle Tim and Tim Jr. and Emmanuel for accepting my invitation to come and share on this special day, Father's Day. Uncle Tim, we're going to start with you. You have the floor. You say what you want. You have you have a few minutes, but nobody stops Uncle Tim. You don't tell Uncle Tim when to stop. But you've got it. You've got it.
Well, Portia, thank you very much for featuring us today. You know, happy Father's Day, first of all, to all of the fathers who may be tuning in. I am going to go along to with the script that you have provided, a couple of points, talking points, and try to gear them toward my life and the way in which I was raised. First of all, you said the older gentleman of this group here. Yes, I am the oldest one. I am 81 years old. And if you give me 2 more months, I will be 82 years old. So the Lord has really blessed me down the line. I will start back because there may be people on your program who may be watching that may not come from what we would call a wholesome family with the father there all the time. But there is hope for those who don't have a father in their life. I grew up without a father. Of course, my mother was the one who instilled in us love. And I took that love as well as trying to emulate from the people in the community who were positive people, the way in which I wanted to be. And I took that and brought it into my family after I got married. And this is the way that I wanted to raise my children. So you look at society today, and society has changed completely as far as trying to raise a child or what have you. Back in my day, we were, if we got into some kind of dispute with the one of our little friends, whomever, we did fist fights. We did not go and find a gun and all that kind of stuff to settle a dispute. And now it seems to be the norm that that's the way in which disputes are settled. And that's bad. That's really, really upsetting. You can't even say anything to young people these days because you don't know what they are going to do, what they're apt to do, because they have not been raised the way in which they should have been raised. You ask, have I mentored any other young people? And I would say one of my main mentorships would be an organization that I am affiliated with, the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And in that fraternity, we have what is called a Project Enrich, which we have young men that we give guidance to, etc., in doing the positive things in life, going on from school on to college, getting into college. We also have the what we call the Q kids, the young people. So yes, we do reach out and mentor where we are able to mentor. I have in this organization, which is the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, I have been fortunate to charter two chapters. One chapter, everywhere I go, I try to uh, affiliate myself with the organization because it's a positive organization. So I chartered a chapter in Rockville, Maryland, where I used to live. I am currently in Prince George's County, Maryland, and I chartered a chapter here. And when I chartered the chapter here, there were 21 men, grown men who have graduated from college, out in life, etc. And from that 21 men, we just had a meeting last night, and we have 225 members of this organization. And you can imagine the impact that this organization has as it goes about mentoring the young people. Um, One of the missing components in life today, in fatherhood today, is the basic guidance from parents as to how children ought carry themselves, how they ought act. And of course, we're getting into the syndrome, which I've already mentioned, that we got a new generation now, which is thinking differently from the way in which we think. It's and we get that from the public officials, where they want you to think that right is wrong and wrong is right. And that's wrong. When I was growing up, right was right and wrong was wrong. And if you did wrong, you suffered from doing wrong. But it's a new day now. And I would say that if you instill that in your children today, they will mimic you and they will instill that into their children. One example is, of course, you will hear from my son in a few moments or whatever. He's a businessman. And my daughter, he and my daughter were working on a project together. And lo and behold, of course, my daughter told me about this, and they said, you sound just like Tim McIntosh. You're just like Tim McIntosh. So they will mimic the good things that you have done. They're watching you. And then the guidance that I would say to my son is, I'm proud of you. You have done extremely well. You continue to do extremely well. Now, father does not talk all the time. He's not all that talkative, but he's watching. And he is there to do whatever he has to do to help you succeed. I am grateful that you have taken on these same kinds of traits. And of course, I look at your family and the way in which you are raising your family, and the fact that even your son, my grandson. He has excelled. He's going on to George Mason. He'll tell you about that probably in a little bit. Wherein just realized his grades from his freshman year are A's. And that's a blessing. That is a positive that has gone down from generation to generation, because he could have turned out to be a thug, a hard head, or what have you. But that is not the way in which you have raised him. And of course, I'm very proud. And I would say to you, any kind of guidance that I could say to you would be keep on keeping on, because we are here. I am here to do whatever I can in whatever way that I can. And just to finalize my little comments, yes, you can hush me up, Portia. You can keep me quiet. Is a pillow that I keep on my sofa all the time. And this pillow, I don't know whether it will read properly with you or what have you, but it's a pillow
Does.
that my daughter, my other daughter, gave to me that says, a father is someone you look up to no matter how tall you get. So I appreciate that. I'm going to relinquish my time, Portia, and let others speak. Thank
That
you.
was wonderful, Uncle Tim. That was wonderful. Thank you for that. It's amazing how the different generations have different mindsets. But just
That's
like you
right.
said, right is right and wrong is wrong.
That's right.
And I, I
That's
feel
right.
sorry for anyone who's a thug out there, because God knows you put the hurting on that word. And I tell you, we appreciate what you have shared over the years, even in the family. So thank you. And then thank you for those who actually have to look to you for guidance. Even fathers, well, men that are not biologically fathers, but they have
That's
that
right.
fatherly role. And we are grateful
That's
to
right.
God for them. Timothy
Yeah.
Jr., thank you, Uncle Tim.
You're
Let's
welcome,
do
beloved.
this.
Hey, I thank you for the opportunity, Portia, to to be here and share some time with my dad and my children. This is good. It's cool that we just have a video archive of this, so this is things that we can look back on, in the future. Dad, I want to just appreciate you for your consistency and being there. A story comes to mind. A story comes to mind. When I was in high school, I used to have this. I think it was maybe 11th grade or something, and my father worked in Virginia. Way in downtown Pentagon, and I had this my art teacher, Mr. Preeter, and he was an older guy, older white guy, and I think that just because of his age, he wasn't able to really kind of connect with the students, of today. And he was, we always used to like to have fun in his class. It was an art class. And I remember at some point getting sent down to the principal's office, and they calling my father. And but one thing I remember is that they called my father and had him, he had to leave work. That's already a problem. He had to leave work and come to Largo, to my high school. And so when we got there, my father was questioning them. He was like, well, what's the problem? Is he doing his work? He was like, yeah, his work is done. He has a like a B+ in the class. But I just from the whole experience, I just remember, my dad advocating for me, and that really made me feel, secure. Yeah, my dad here now. Now what you gonna say, Mr. Preeter? Now what you gonna But I think just that theme of of being there, being present. My father isn't a super affectionate, kind of person, but he shows in word and in deed. And that's one consistent thing that that has been impactful, to me. And Daddy, I appreciate that, and I think that that's a part of me and what my children see, in me. in terms of just consistency and being there and being present. In terms of our extended community, in terms of sharing fatherhood. I'm a barber. I've been a barber, over 30 years, and being able to be in the barbershop and also teaching, having schools, gone through that. I've come in contact with a lot of men, with a lot of young men, middle-aged men, older, men. It crosses the gamut, from any young man who may be transitioning, out of prison and coming back into the workforce, or some executive that works in the Research Triangle Park and is a dad and juggling business and his responsibilities. So it gives me an opportunity to kind of just share a lot of those disciplines and wisdom that I received, as a child, with them. So that's kind of like my extended community, in terms of working with men and, dealing with men and things that I can share, with them. So I think that, just the consistency, in sharing with them best practices, because, we share all the time about marriage, or being a dad and growing up. And one of the things that I can definitely see in terms of just being a father myself is that things have changed. Things have shifted. My father is a super disciplinarian. Hey, look, I get a whooping if I walk down the street backwards, and it's whooping. Okay, it's whooping time. But just understanding how my kids are different. It's not that same style. It's not that same style, but it's the consistency of the wisdom and how I share that, with them. So now it's not so much, you need to do this or you're gonna get a whooping, but now it's more so, well, what made you come to that conclusion? Let's think about that. One of the things that always, that I always share with my clients and friends and things that I remember from my childhood, one thing that my dad always used to say is, boy, everything has its proper place, and that's just so profound, in terms of so many different levels, right? Everything has its proper place in terms of organization, keeping one's life, in order, how we work, how we keep our stuff, our personal lives organized and what have you. So that's, one of the, the cool things, but just kind of sharing the consistency, of that wisdom, today, contemporarily, with what's going on today. Now it's so much in terms of this digital age that we're in. It's information overload. You can pull up on your phone and learn about anything. And as my daughter Zari, she's 16, and Emmanuel, he's 19, and they're growing up in this digital age, and they have access to everything that a lot of things that I didn't have, at my disposal, and then also my dad had at his disposal. So it's just very different. But the thing that's consistent that they continue to need is the wisdom and being able to think for yourself. Why should I do this? How does this make sense? Is this important? How does this connect to what's important to me? And really asking those kind of reflexive questions and making sure that we are on the right path and doing what we need to do. So I think that as the world continues to shift and change, the wisdom is consistent. Being there, being present, speaking up for yourself, understanding what's important and what's not important, understanding who's important and who's not important. And I think that, those are the consistent things that continue to reign true today. And as we continue to move forward, as the world continues to ramp up, as technology continues to advance, tomorrow is going to be different. When they become adults, it's going to be even different for their children. It's going to be different. So I think that understanding the context and where we are, the world, and appreciating our kids for who they are. I tell my kids all the time, I said, you guys are brilliant. What made you come up? How did you think about that? And the cool thing is, I take the posture of learning from them, because they have a lot of things that I don't know. Their perspective in this age helps me, in business today. It helps me to connect, even to their cohort in terms of, their age group. So I look at it as a continual, learning opportunity, learning from them, learning what's important from them, as they form their views, on the world, as they become young adults, a young man and a young woman in this world, and understanding, what's important to them. Just kind of being there, consistency, being there as a sounding board for them, in probing them, in thinking deeper about the decisions, that they make, because it's their life. And I, make sure to understand it's their life. It's not my life, it's their life. And they're going to have to, we were talking about it earlier, talk about consequences, for, our actions, and understand, and they're going to have to bear that and deal with that. But I think giving them the latitude, and the autonomy to make decisions and deal with the consequences of those decisions, and the benefits, of those decisions. But I think that what I've learned is just really kind of taking the posture of, how can I share this wisdom that I've received that has been a blessing into my life? How can I share that with them, in a way that it's not overbearing? You know what? I told one of my classes, I take the posture, I'm a farmer. I'm just planting seeds. I'm just planting seeds. And, one day the Lord will, we're seeing it now, in terms of the harvest, right? In terms of their grades. Emmanuel, I give them super credit, Emmanuel and Zari, even this present age of COVID, what they had to deal with in terms of school, the shifting, being home, both of them A's and B's. As my father said, they could be out here doing drive-bys and all of this kind of stuff. But, they got their head on straight, and I'm really, it's really a great thing. It's really a great thing. And I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful on who they are and who they're becoming, and being able to see it. It's almost like a movie, just kind of playing out, just being able just to kind of see, their progression and their growth, the highs and the lows, the good and the bad, being able to see it. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So that's kind of my soapbox spiel. And, so Manny, what are your thoughts, man?
Wait a minute,
Okay,
hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So Tim, what would be your legacy that you would like to leave? When it is time, of course. Mm-hmm.
I think the legacy is, what is the higher purpose? What is the higher cause? It's not about me. Thinking about the tools and the gifts, that I have, being able to use that to push the culture forward, to push people forward, and being able to make a difference. Being thoughtful, being able to make a difference. That's my legacy, and being able to share that with them, that they continue on and do the same.
Okay. Now you can pass the baton. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Emmanuel. I'm 19, as my dad said. Yeah, first I want to appreciate both my pop and my dad here. Growing up with them it's as my dad said, it's definitely good to sow the seed and make sure that seed recognizes that who planted it, and actually see like what they've done, and realize that the world is not the world is not just what I see. It's things happened before I was born, and it's just recognizing what has happened in order for me to be here. And it's very refreshing to see both the very major parts of my life do something with their life and be able to gain the sow the seeds and gain the products from it. And also recognize that I could do the same in their footsteps. And even if I don't want to go in their footsteps, I could do it a different way, but it's still the same want and the same drive that I still have. And it's that deep baseline that I really think that's very crucial. And going on with that, I think that with certain people, when it comes to not having fathers or people that are in different or complex situations, I really think that it's good to also recognize from an outside standpoint who you should look up to, because everybody has someone they look up to. If it's from God to Beyonce to the guy on the street playing the guitar, it's they all strike a chord in our hearts. And I really feel like it's necessary for you to recognize that and tap into it so you can become your actual self. And I really feel like that's played a big role in my life, because I look at the world around me, and I from nature to the hierarchs and the millionaires and the billionaires in the United States, to my dad and to my grandfather, and I recognize that they wanted something and they got it. Just like what my dad was talking about with consequences. Everything has a consequence. What my pop-up said about everything having its proper pace. Once you do something, something is going to be a result of it. And all life really is making sure that you do what you want to do and get the consequences that you want to get. Of course, it's going to be a trial and error, but that's what I have these two people for. And I'm really appreciative for them.
This is so wonderful. This is so wonderful, hearing this from 3 different generations. And you could hear the 3 different mindsets, but yet it was all in one. It started with one, passed down to the other, passed down to the other. So we're very grateful to God for the lessons that each generation has learned. Each generation had learned something, and you take the same goal, but there's 3 different understandings of it, but you still come back to the same goal to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. Thank you so very much. Zori, I know that it was given for the McIntosh Men, but do you have anything to share at all? Because especially, wait a minute, especially one point when you said something about they could be doing something crazy that you mentioned, and I can see it on Zori's face. It was like, not me. It's like, not me. But I tell you what, it's beautiful, and I know you guys are proud as peacocks, more so Uncle Tim and Tim Jr. But Zori, do you have anything that you would like to share?
No, not really, because everything that I would have said was already said. And so it would just be sounding like a broken record, voicing my appreciation for these people in my life.
All right, all right. See how the woman, she just says what she needs to say, and that's it. You know, we don't take, no, really, honestly, you guys, I really love you as family, and I love what you shared on today. And Miss Swan is gonna just do a recap and yeah, take us on in. I hope you guys have sunscreen or something on, because
it is bright out here. You know, it was raining earlier. It was like coming down. I didn't think we were going to actually be able to sit out here in the park and do it.
And that's beautiful right there where you are.
Yeah.
Well, I am so happy to have met all of you today. It's been a pleasure. I can definitely see that there's good seeds have been sown in this family for sure. And from my understanding of what you guys were saying, one thing we just want to leave with our viewers out here, all the men who are fathers and father figures, you know, consistency is key. You don't have to be perfect, but people who need fathers, who want father figures, that's all they want you to do is just love them the best way that you know how. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. No, share your wisdom, be real, be consistent, and listen to them, support them. And that's all anyone really wants. And then you can just be the best father that you were supposed to be. And I also just want to give a great happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there who chose to be fathers through adoption. We commend you for taking that leap of faith and stepping up and being a father figure to someone in need. And I just want to commend you all again. You guys are a great family and you're hilarious. I want you to know that you're really funny. but no, you guys are so loving and genuine, and you can definitely tell. So I just want to say thank you for coming on our broadcast today. And I just want all of you to enjoy your day, enjoy each other. And our viewers out there, enjoy your day, enjoy each other. Take time to appreciate someone who's a father figure to you, especially if your father is no longer here. Just take time to appreciate a father figure or your father that's in your life. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. I am done. I just thank you again. Thank you so very much. Oh, I do want to say hello, Aunt Marion. I know you're watching. I hope you're watching somewhere. Hello, Aunt Marion. All right. Well, on that
Thank you,
note, we're
Portia.
gonna absolutely my
Thank you,
pleasure.
Portia. Beautiful,
Yes, sir.
beautiful.
Yes, sir.
See
On
what
that
else you
note,
can
we're
get
gonna
me into.
okay. I'm gonna take you at your word. I'm gonna take you at
That's
your
No,
word.
no, 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 no. No, no, no.
Too late.
Okay.
The world has heard you. All around the country has heard
Yes.
you, so you can't take it back.
Thank
All
you.
right, so we are going to leave you for today, but I thank you again for joining us, and we shall see you tomorrow at what time, Takira?
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here.
God bless you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.